So hello, hello, hello. So today was the day. Today was the 15th. And what was supposed to happen today was some big news from YouTube about the changes to their policies, really regarding artificial intelligence. I know a lot of you out here know about it. We were expecting something. No one knew exactly what to expect, but a lot of people that I watch here on YouTube, who have been on YouTube, uh, studying YouTube and working within the system longer than I have, were telling everyone that these rules that a lot of people who use artificial intelligence were worried about were already existing rules here on YouTube. And I did a little looking on my own and found out, yes, that is true. There have always been rules that you weren't supposed to create, you know, mindless, repetitive content that was just for the purpose of trying to become monetized, trying to get more views, trying to increase your watch hours, all kinds of ways that we know people try to game the system, try to take shortcuts, try to find ways to make things happen for themselves faster. And a lot of people here were actually having success creating what we call, I guess, faceless content. And now there's a new term, AI slop, which is a funny term, but it really is. It's content that's created really quickly with minimal effort. Someone like myself who writes scripts for YouTube, thinks of content ideas, creates those content ideas, edits those content ideas, posts those content ideas, trying to make content that people who watch my channel find interesting. You know, we don't like to see that. We don't like to see it being flooded with basically a new modern day version of spam or junk mail that comes into your mailbox. You'll notice even at your home or your apartment, you still receive catalogs, flyers, advertisements from local companies. And what do you mostly do with it? You throw it right in the garbage. Now, these companies know that. They know that it's a very low response for this type of content, but they get some response. So that's why they keep doing it. Just like spammers. Spammers from all over the world target us here in the United States because the response is low, but when they get a response, they can make it work sometimes. So that's why they keep doing it. And the same thing we are starting to face here on YouTube with what they term now AI slop. You know, content that is repetitive, easily created. They take other people's ideas and create artificial intelligent versions of that content. So YouTube is supposed to be now trying to more pay attention to people who are trying to game the system, which is good. Me as a viewer, I sit down and I watch YouTube content and I look at mini documentaries and small, short little documentaries, stories that I haven't heard of, news stories. So I get a lot of content from YouTube also as a viewer. And also, and then on the other side, I'm a content creator. So, you know, I don't like when I see a lot of faceless videos and you maybe click it to see what it is and it's a computer generated voice and it's stuff that you've heard before, just repetitive content, nothing new, nothing interesting, very minimal effort. Hello everyone, let me take a break from my hello. I am here in the USA. Thanks for stopping by. Please go and view my website below. Hello everyone, I see you're there. Thank you for stopping by. So again, back to what I'm talking about. So today was that big day, the 15th, and a lot of people were worried that there were going to be, you know, rules that would come out that would shut down their channels instantly. That didn't happen. YouTube will still be looking for violations like they usually do, and blocking people from being monetized if they violate the policies. Also looking for, I guess, people who are trying to find a way to game the system. There's always going to be people doing that, trying to get a shortcut, trying to find a way to get past the rules or get past them fast. And I see a lot of videos on here. I got monetized in 1 week. I got monetized in 6 weeks. And I'm tempted to look, but it seems relatively impossible. But I don't know. It could be true. My wife tells me that a lot of these people, it's not true. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of trying to see what is true, what is not true. You have people blatantly giving ideas on how to do things that are against YouTube's policies and procedures. So that's been being cracked down on a little. I've seen a lot of people complaining because their channels have been demonetized, and they probably shouldn't have been monetized in the first place. So, there's rules for a reason. If you're deciding to use this platform, you have no choice but to go by the rules that they have. That's what I'm doing, trying to follow the rules. I thank you guys for helping me out. A lot of you guys are following my following my content. I'm getting distracted by some of the contents below. No, I'm not running for president. So I have a lot of people following my channel, looking at my content, subscribing. I appreciate that. And I'm just thinking out loud, if these new procedures, and they're not new, they are the same rules and regulations they had from the beginning. They just cleaned it up a little bit to fit the new world we have with all this artificial intelligence creating content so quickly and easily. So you have to move with the times. We do as creators, and also YouTube itself as the platform. You have to pivot when things come out, because there's always going to be new advances. There's always going to be new advances, and people are going to take those advances and they're going to use them for evil. Some people use them for good, some people use them for evil. So that's just part of this business that we have here. I was interested to see what was going to happen, and I watched a few videos from other creators who have been around for a while, who actually specialize in following YouTube and making people aware of what the rules and regulations are. So, I follow them, look at their content, go to YouTube myself and read it for myself. You can do the same thing. So it was an interesting day, and I got some of my own personal work done. I'm working on a short film that I'm editing for a client, and I did probably about 3 or 4 scenes today. So that came out well. I also came up with an idea for the short to add little transitional elements in between. So I was able to find some stock footage that I'm able to use for free, royalty-free stock footage, which is always good, especially when the client doesn't have budget to buy stock footage. And so what I did was I put that. Oh, where'd that come from? Oh no, I'll be right back with you. Only have one person listening.
It's a thrift shop. It's a part of my collection with my glass dolls.
Oh.
It's a Star Wars boy. It's Star Wars.
Oh, the actor. What's his name? I forgot his name. I don't know his name either. He's the English guy, the British guy. Yeah. That looks similar to your dolls they used to make. So yeah, I was able to get some of my editing done today, and it was very interesting. At first I had a slow start this morning, but I got started, and then I came up with this idea to insert transitions in between the scenes that I cut. The film is, I don't know if any of you heard of it, but there used to be this fad, speed dating, and the director / producer, he wrote a script and had his actors from his school perform in the different roles. So what I did was I cut individual transitional scenes in between the actors' performances, and it smooths it out some. So it turned out really well. Gives it a nice little polish, because the stock footage was very high quality, 4K footage that I was able to find. And a lot of times you can do that. You search around on the internet and you can find free stock footage, royalty free, that fits the project you're working on. And if your project doesn't have a budget that can afford to go to one of the stock houses and just buy the footage, then that's a great way to work around that. I've even in the past used old stock footage from the Internet Archives. I created an opening for a film we did a number of years ago, and was able to get all the footage completely royalty free from the Internet Archive and create a really good quality opening for a feature film we had created. So there's always ways to find extra footage, content to supplement the project you're working on. And that's just a little tip from the editing world. And here on my site, again, as I close out, I talk about acting, directing, and editing. And I want to thank all you people who have been coming to my site, looking at my content, even forwarding it. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please follow the link below and go to my channel, watch some of the content, and subscribe. I'm moving towards my monetization, and I look forward to that. I look forward to continue to expand this channel and create original content. That's my main goal, to create some YouTube first content, humorous content, still trying to collaborate with a few people. So things are still moving in the right direction. I have a lot of irons in the fire here on YouTube. I started to do some organization today to move some of the ideas into a subset folder that I will do later. Keep coming up with ideas, and I need to finish the first ones first. So thanks a lot, and I will see you again in the morning. You guys have a good evening, and I'll check in tomorrow, give you my plan, then maybe in the afternoon, and then hopefully again in the evening with a recap. And again, the reason I do this is because when I look at the YouTube analytics, most of the ways that you guys discover me is through this, the vertical live stream. You're swiping around looking at shorts, and all of a sudden you come across this guy standing here talking, and you'll stop, you'll peek, you'll look at some of my work, and a lot of people have been liking it. A lot of people have been subscribing. So this is my go-to method to introduce myself to you. And I will continue to do this method. It seems to be working. And that's the beauty of YouTube. You can see what's working instantly. And as you see what's working, that's what you want to lean into. My acting information that I've given you guys is really becoming popular here in the vertical format as shorts. So that's what I continue to work on. I might create a few more pieces tonight for little short pieces, 30 seconds or less, that can be put into the shorts. And I usually put a few of those up each day. I put some up this morning. I'm going to probably start that process this evening. So I will see you again in the morning. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it. Have a good evening, wherever you are.